not that smart, so he gets a 1 on that. Now with his moves, they're basic moves, nothing crazy. If he doesn't have his thunder power, he's nothing without it. So he's getting a 1 on that. Wolverine, again, not that smart. He gets a 2 on that. We said we're not using it. We're just using the bone structure, correct? Did we mention that?
Well, yeah. If we're saying we can't
Okay, cool.
use the enhancements, then
his
yeah.
powers, they're great, but they're not really practical as much with his bone claws. So I'll give him a 4 on the powers, but I also give him a 7 with a healing factor. Now his fighting style is again very boring, very basic. Punch here, kick here, scream, claw. I'll give him a 3. Maybe I'll push it to a 4. That's it. Now, Daredevil, I'll give him a little more credit. He does have brains, so I'll give him at least a 7 on that. His fighting style is pretty unique because he started under a I can't remember what clan it was, martial art clan, ninja clan.
Didn't Daredevil use his power? It was his it made his hearing stronger.
Yeah, and so he has his power is
like bats. They use it like bats.
Exactly, like a bat, like a sonar almost.
Yeah.
You can see, but in like sonar way. So, his fighting style is unique because it is a martial art. So I am going to show a little favoritism because I am a martial artist. So I am going to give him a 9. No, actually no, at 8. 9 is really pushing it. I said fighting style. But that's only when he's not using his bow staff or nunchucks. That's eliminated right there because he doesn't use those weapons sometimes. Now, we talked about fighting style. We talked about brains. What am I missing here, Paul? I'm missing something from him.
So again, you get cosmic or mystical power.
Yeah, so he doesn't have neither. That's a 0 on him automatically for all these.
Right.
And
then again, the influence, intelligence. You got again leadership, strategy, or ability to change the universe indirectly.
So I do see him being a leader at one point. He does have that leadership ability. Like, let's go. Thor, I can see him doing that too. Thing, he's dumb as shit. I'm sorry, no. Spider-Man, I can see him be a leader, and they showed him a couple times as a leader. But we move on. Let's bring this guy in here. Of course, we cannot do a show with our neighborhood baby Groot. Well, first of all, before I let David have the conversation, I'm getting bashed by Eric here. So, explain again why Doctor Strange.
Because again, based on the limitations, right? So again, anybody who uses Infinity Stones.
Doctor Strange didn't really use the Infinity Stone that much.
Well, he does have the Eye of Agamotto, which is the Time Stone. So again, that greatly enhances what he's able to do because of that. Now, that's not saying he's not a great mystic, or mystic of the mystic, or master of the mystic arts, just like any of those mystics are. But certainly having that Eye of Agamotto, that's a cheat code. And then, like we said. So again, no Infinity Stones unless everybody gets one. All right. So again, no outside help. So again, teams, armies, or gods backing them. Now again, I know Thor is quote unquote a god, but again, it's not like and I guess he could call on the Asgardians if he wants to, but we're talking about Thor. If you're going to choose him, then he's got to be on his own. And then the last one is again, we're sticking with base power levels, who they are without special boosts. So again, that's why we're not using armor, or like I said, with Wolverine, you can't use the adamantium because that is definitely a boost. So we're talking about these characters in their natural, non-enhanced form, and what they're able to do. Just
before we move on,
although what I would say then is okay. So if you're saying base power levels, we are giving Captain America a slot, even though he's on the juice. Are we?
That's why I was mentioning that earlier.
Okay,
hang on. Before we move on, Eric also says, because I'm getting bashed by him. So he goes, "Let Thor keep."
That's a big cheat code, bro.
That's why I left it up to you guys. If you're okay with it, great. If you're not, you're not. Okay. And you're taking away these Pattern 2. Oh, what the fuck? I'm getting bashed here. Crap. You guys have to still what the hell was that saying?
You have silly restrictions imposed. Now, again, this was what I was sent this to. It's not like we didn't. It's not like we had a discussion leading up to the show that we were going to be limited. Pete just kind of dropped this on this a few hours before the show, and I was like, okay, fine, we'll go with these and we'll have the discussion around that. But at the same time, my pushback. Now, I had a conversation with these guys a couple of weeks ago when we talk about trying to compare these characters and who's strong and who's that. I think the comic world has taken this to obnoxious extremes.
Oh, absolutely. The MCU, the movies.
Guys, I'm just trying to explain it to Eric. I'm saying how do we get here? All right. If you're saying this is a bit too extreme, how do we get here? Because comics over time have taken characters that were supposed to have both strengths and abilities, but also weaknesses and vulnerabilities, and basically made them essentially mute. And now everybody is a godlike character for the most part. Hulk is just they did one of those death battles between Hulk and Godzilla, for example, and they went into this extra dimensional. They can tap into this power, that power, whatever, for some extra dimensional. I mean, these writers are moving the scale so far that it's hard to have in modern day. It's hard to have a thoughtful discussion because everybody's just juiced to the gills. So now if you think that this is, and I'm willing to revisit this in this very show, if you think that certain characters that are known for having certain weapons or certain things that define the character, I'm good with that. But then you're gonna have to let Iron Man in.
Mm-hmm.
And you're gonna have to let Wolverine in with his adamantium in, even though there have been storylines and plot lines and whatnot where they haven't had those things.
I'll give you a better one, Paul. You let Iron Spider-Man in with his powers and his iron suit too. He's almost nearly untouchable.
Yeah, I mean his advanced suits. So where do you draw the line? Now again, I would love to hear from David and where he comes in, because we didn't hear your comments in the lead up to the show, and I don't know if you saw the long text that was with the rule.
I saw the long text. Meanwhile, went at it.
So what is your thoughts then on it? Because again, I'm thinking if you're gonna have a healthy debate or have a discussion, you got to have some rules.
So here's the thing:
what would your rules be if we were to change or modify these? Because I'm open to it. I just want to play by the same set of rules.
So what's the main topic of the whole debate? Is it about who the most popular superhero or who the most powerful?
No, I put it by accident up there. So the original, it was supposed to be who is the most powerful Marvel superhero? Only Marvel.
Who the most powerful Marvel superhero? Okay, and what are the restrictions? That they had to be natural power, or a power being earned? Or they had to be power artificially given to him, aka experiment? Or did a level of consistency to what the power originated? Because
so what I say, David, I'm sorry to cut you off, but I say it has to be earned or naturally. Anything in a lab or even like Iron Man, a suit of armor is disqualification.
So you say anything in the lab, that means Captain America will be disqualified.
That's what I said.
Bruce Banner will be disqualified. Captain Marvel will be.
I don't know if that was a lab. Was
no
a bomb site is a lab now?
No, Captain America is lab.
True.
Bruce Banner is definitely lab.
How?
The Hulk.
He was irradiated in a bomb site. How's that a lab? A lab is a controlled experiment with an intentional or expected outcome.
Right. It wasn't a lab, but it was by accident.
That wasn't in a lab. He was on a bomb site.
Who you on about? Sorry.
He went to save Rick Jones who was out there in the bomb. They were doing the gamma bomb test. He runs out in his car. I'm not going by Hulk 2003. I'm not going by Ang Lee Hulk or whatever. I'm not doing that.
I'm glad you just right there.
I'm going classic Hulk.
I'm glad what you just said right there. You go a bit on class. This was something we have been saying that to the longest. It's not a level of consistency. We're going by too many different writers who want to rewrite or recreate, or readjust certain characters. This is why there's a lack of consistency in comic books compared to anime. What I would be talking about for the longest. I'm glad you mentioned them to Bennett, and I have to agree with you. You are correct. You go back to the original story, it wasn't a lot. I totally agree with you.
But it wasn't natural or earned either. Right, David?
So, well, if you're going to say naturally earned, then you're going to limit the conversation to mutants then.
Yeah. That was
true.
Now, if you want to say who's the most powerful mutant, then that can be a discussion also. I don't mind having that discussion.
All right, let's
also, but
okay, well, how can we all agree on this one? Paul, any ideas?
If you want to be that strict, then I say let's keep it to mutants.
Okay.
If you want to do that. If you want to have or put the categories in. Most powerful mutant, most powerful lab, okay?
Okay.
Most powerful accident, and most powerful mech or enhancement.
So the deity not gonna be a part of like AKA Thor, because Thor he got his power. He deity.
Well, right. I mean, he's born with it. I mean, mutant. Yeah. Okay, so if you want to add that to it as well, right? He's born with it. He's an Asgardian. He comes from a race of beings that just so happen to be. He's gonna use a parachute. Okay. Well, I would tell you what, Eric. Then, now I would say this. Why don't you, for a future show, you can send it to me and I'll share with the group. You set to me then what parameters should be, and then we can have a discussion based on those. Right? If that would help the discussion. But I get the idea. I get the idea that you want to, and I'm kind of for it too. If you want to have again classical characters with their classical abilities, and let's just kind of keep it kind of going that way, whether it be enhanced lab or whatever.
Or original storyline, not
original storyline. Okay, we can
new writer want to come in and readjust.
There you go. So you're talking about going back to the originals from the 40s, 50s, or 60s, from those general plot lines of how these people came to being. I'm good with that. So now, Wally, if you want to chime in and give your 2 cents, because I know you have some comments
The sound effect that constantly keeps getting old. Isn't it amazing?
Into his mind.
I get a kick out of it.
I bet you do.
Funny.
And I'm the beer,
profile pic.
not the Groot.
All right, Wally, you're up, man. Come on, give us some info.
Like what?
You usually got this stuff.
Yeah, usually based upon what factor. Because at the end of the day, again, we went from popular to powerful. I'm like, what the freak? And then this list.
No, like I said, I by accident didn't realize I posted, the wrong thing. I wasn't paying attention. Oops.
How can you not pay attention when you have to write in the title?
People will make mistakes. My autocorrect.
Your autocorrect got a very, very problematic with you. But nonetheless, I mean, where do I even start with this? Honestly,
In autocorrect don't like him. Every time you want to put something in, take note. It's how I want. Sorry, you're not the producer. I don't care. I correct everything. I'm like, God damn.
you can break this into 3 categories. I don't know, man. This is so weird. Okay, so what is the fix right now?
So we're trying to find how would it make this fair, because the rules I put down, we're all agreeing is not 100% fair. So Paul has his idea. Let's break it down in 5 different ways. You have any ideas?
Okay, and what's the 5 different ways you're breaking it down from?
Paul, can you mention them again?
So it would have been most powerful mutant, most powerful, enhanced, or lab. Most powerful in terms of deity, and then also most powerful as far as like enhanced, like mech, tech, technical.
Okay.
So like you can have we can break the conversation down by that. So again, you're honoring whether the person was naturally born with that ability, or if the person was enhanced in the lab or something, or some accident that changed them into that, or if they just happen to be because of their race that particular entity. So again, it breaks it into those categories. So I don't mind. Again, I don't mind going in that direction. I just want some rules. It doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be that. Or if you just want to go with the classical storylines of how these folks came to be. Because again, my biggest peeve is that the current state of comics today is that they got these guys juiced to the gills. So it's almost like everybody's a god, pretty much. And so I don't necessarily like that path of going either. So I can go in any one of those directions, because that's a sliding slope.
All right, so I'm looking at this from from number 3 on this list. To keep the conversation balanced, no affinity stones or cosmic artifacts unless everyone has one. I heard you guys earlier talking about if Doctor Strange count or not, which technically he actually does, because even without the stone, he still has his own natural powers.
Right, and I acknowledge that.
Okay, well, I'm just making sure because I didn't hear the rest of it afterwards when I departed. But no outside help, teams, armies, God backing them up. Okay, fine. Stick to base power level. Who they are without special boost. I mean,
no African ritual power.
I mean, I didn't even do that, but I mean, if that's the case, I mean, think about it. If we're saying, okay, think about that notion. Stick to base power level. Okay, if I had to pick the most powerfulest person, and we're sticking on base, and we're sticking to the overall no branch dialogue, then that's literally a waste. So I don't know why that was put in there, because you may as well just have most people depending on what they're naturally built with, as far as superheroes, not heroes, because heroes don't have powers. You're more likely just scaling it. The scale is pretty much fair. So I don't see the point of adding that stipulation in, because again, superheroes actually have powers. Heroes do not. But okay, battle sequence. You can determine the kind of power scenario one-on-one. What is it? Okay, right. So judging system to keep it fun and each chance can give a score out of 10. I'll try to guess what that. All right. Well, look. I'm not even gonna keep on reading all this. Wherever y'all want to drive it, let's drive it.
But I had to search my whole mind and my brain, think about the total rules now. Who will be excluded? Because if you talk about lab, Captain America got his power through experiment. Hulk, based on original storyline, was an accident, which is totally correct. Yeah. But updated version, they make it seem like for a lab, but they trying to rewrite his origins.
Right. Well, they also got that from the Incredible Hulk TV show from the 70s. That was definitely a lab thing.
And that's another part too. The TV show made it seem that was from a lab, not a mistake or some kind of thing.
Yeah.
And let me see what else. There are so many characters that have been rewritten to the point where we call it not original storyline, because they want to nerf or increase their power level. Like you just said, they want to make them like a god or some kind of thing. It's not being earned. But in the aspect of Hulk is a very special individual because based on the original storyline, he does increase his strength level over time due to the level of rage he would increase on. Give it a unique variable behind that. How you want to call it? He a being who can level up his power level. I'm gonna call it that way. In technical terms, he's the original person who can level up their power compared to other individuals. Captain Marvel, that is an experiment, so to speak, if I remember correctly, but it's not an experiment done on Earth, but based on the extraterrestrial being that did experiment on her, so to speak. Spider-Man is lab. Venom.
Wait, you talking about from the original standpoint, or are you talking about? Because okay, you know what?
I'm as a nerd, as a fan of comic book, I'm going back in my brain like, okay, Spider-Man
is going to be the problem. You're saying, okay, you want to go to the original continuity, but if everyone doesn't know the original continuity, then everyone's skewed on the idea of which comic book you're talking about. So I said, yeah, no.
That's the problem right there.
And Wally has a good point because not everybody knows every single character out there because Marvel have so many characters and it's hard to know every single one.
There were too many reboots being done on these characters.
I'll give you a great example, David. I know about Black Panther.
And Black Panther came my shock. See?
That's crazy.
I was here.
But what I was gonna say is, even then, because even to the idea of switching narratives of because again, I'm pretty sure there's a way of saying. I think on the list, you can choose which quote unquote comic book character you wish to use. So it doesn't matter what era of the comic book you use that particular person as long as they fit in the rules. So again, even to that standpoint. If someone came in here and said Spider-Man, but you say no, you can't do that. He was a lab project. Well, no, this version was not a lab project. This version just got bitten. So what are we talking about
here? Yeah, I agree with you 100% because if you want, let's do the movies for example. The one was he showed him getting bitten in the lab, and another version he was not bitten in the lab. So it really depends which version you want to go off.
Hang on, which one was he not bitten in the lab?
The newer one. They explain in a not actual story in a movie, but like a cutscene. He was bit in walking down the street.
But he was bit by a active spider, which was created in the lab, right?
I'm not disagreeing that bit one bit, David. I agree on that part. But are we gonna say does it have to be in a lab? Or say Hulk is a great example. Hulk was hit by a
gamma bomb.
Gamma bomb. Thank you. But that was not in a lab. But that was lab made.
No, if we want to talk about lab exactly, Wolverine, Captain America, those are exact labs.
Thank you. I rest my case. If anybody has pushback, please. You have the stage right now.
To the audience, I would think I bring that comic too, because this is something that I've been since high school that has been in the debate. Because we based on the original storyline. Original storyline will flush out or write off many other characters. Would have went through multiple reboots, which this is something I'm a fan of anime for. There's a level of consistency. Ain't no I'm gonna reboot this character and add on more power level that is not. It was completely unnecessary.
David, you want to talk about adding power levels, but notice one thing. If the story in manga continues to keep going and going and going, don't they not add power levels? Just because the storyline switches to a different universe or a different book and the writer, that doesn't mean that it's the same thing.
Yeah, but based on certain manga, they either they add on to or they earn it.
Right, they add on and they earn it. But either which way, okay, think of it like this. Perfect example, Dragon Ball, just to start off, or I'll even I know Dragon Ball 2 mentioned here. Naruto. We all know as of now that Naruto's been out for so long, the Uzumaki clan was supposed to be the most feared clan because of their chakra reserve. But Naruto was a nerfed little mother lover because the Nine Tails was in his body and he couldn't use not an instrument amount of it. He was supposed to be broken straight off the get-go, technically.
But he became a Druid king because he was forced upon him on birth.
But notice again,
Right.
he still had to build to that. That's still a building process. Now, granted, you can sit here and say, okay, they changed the character or modified the character through different adaptations of the different writers. Fine, but is the core value of their power still the same? That's one thing you guys still question. And if it is, then what are we talking about?
And Goku, who's the Saiyan, which we know based on his genetics, they're a being that even the gods, the deity, were afraid of, because every time they train, they fight, they go through any type of situation, they get close to the edge of the life of fate and death. Their body unlock another level. That's natural.
Okay.
So if you want to talk about the same way, that is a natural.
That's a natural occurrence. Yes. But again, I'm still saying, again, this is my hope. But again, to my standpoint, even if you were to look at different comics and different adaptations, do the original powers and or abilities still stick? Yes or no?
Yes.
Thank you.
I believe.
Thank you.
And that's where that's what Wally is pushing back with you, David. Is if the original powers still stick, and I agree with Wally, they should stick, because the powers never really change from different universes. They'll always stay the same. Or if I'm wrong, please correct me, guys.
No, that's what I'm saying. The idea of it is still the same. Because again, no matter what Wolverine you get, the bone cloths are still the same. Is it not? Isn't the heal factor still the same?
Yes.
Correct.
So again, even if you add or don't add the adamantium, the main power source is still the same.
That is totally correct.
And that's what I'm standing on. Because again, even if you were to switch up the narrative of the Saiyans, because again, even on the multiple different versions of Saiyans, what they did, they flipped the normal Saiyan and gave what? An evil Saiyan, but this one had a black cloak aura over the golden aura. But it's still a Super Saiyan 4 Saiyan aura, right? It still has the same properties, the same motivations, the same everything else. Same thing. Great.
And Mandrill, I know you're watching behind the clouds, like you normally do. You can come up here too, because you have a saying this tweet, but he's another nerd. So.
But he's not up here, so we're gonna have to work where we got, David. So, well, let me ask you a question. Your Mount Olympus top 5 superheroes. Which one's gonna be?
Mount Olympus top 5 as far as Marvel. Yeah, give me a moment.
That's a hard one.
I'm not gonna remember all of my off the back of my hands, but
it's hard.
Cyclops.
I gotta think my own.
Cyclops, Wolverine, Nightcrawler. What else is there? I don't want to be very overly centric here. Who else is another person I was thinking about? Gambit. Yeah, I got it right with Gambit. Motherfuckers be cheating from Gambit. And then the last but not least, who's I'm thinking about that I haven't bothered to name? Who am I thinking about that I didn't name yet? Son of a gun. Oh, I gotta look this last one up. I forgot this person's name.
You know what's interesting about your list so far, Wally, that I actually nobody thought about it, even myself. Most of your picks are from the X-Men.
I mean, well, let me see. I said what? Cyclops, Wolverine, Nightcrawler, Gambit. Oh yeah, technically.
Yeah. So it's nothing wrong with that, because you didn't say, like David tried to say before. What was it, Greg? Saying, "Oh, Fantastic Four." Like, no, you can't pick that because that's 4 people.
Well, funny enough, even within the characters that I picked, I mean, what? Wolverine, even without X-Men, still was a solo guy, or either a different character amongst a different group, so it don't matter. A Gambit, once upon a time a Stray before being X-Men, so again, it's like, yeah. But the rest, that's all the same. But yeah,
and that's completely fine the way you did it. But you're the only one who thought about it, and most of these characters came from the X-Men because you picked them individually.
I mean, yeah, but the X-Men is such a big organization, so it's
exactly.
Like
same thing with Avengers.
Literally. I mean, Avengers. I mean, that's more of people joining more than it is already big. But yeah, I guess.
No, I'm saying they're both big in their own different ways.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that, like I said, nobody thought about what about everybody, me and Paul both said Wolverine off the bat. So you're the only one who thought, hey, I have an arsenal right there. You went after those guys.
I'm thinking Jean Grey will be on my list.
But which one?
Jean
No,
Grey.
I'm saying Phoenix Jean Grey or regular Jean Grey.
They're one in the same.
The one is the same.
Okay. I want to see what you guys want to say on that. That's why I asked that question.
She'll be on my list.
They're one in the same.
One that's been overlooked is Iceman because they say his power grow over time.
Now, I will say one thing though: if you want to defer between the two because of different power sources, and then of course because the Phoenix takes over Jean, not they're working together simultaneously, then I understand that point.
But isn't the Phoenix an independent? An independent?
Yeah, she is an independent source. Like she can travel and switch bodies, to body to body. So she is an independent factor. If you want to just say Phoenix by herself, because she can switch different hosts no matter what. Technically.
I mentioned Iceman because Iceman is another character that people keep overlooking that his power grew over time.
Hang on.
Sorry. Beast. Beast is another one because he's another variable that another character people keep sleeping on. You know, he was a doctor. He also mentioned that the issue with his power that he has to suppress because he does not suppress it. It grows over time.
Who is this?
Beast. Who is this? Where is he?
Good point.
That's my third one. I'm thinking.
Man. Oh, of course, my OG Blade. There it is.
Oh,
the vampire.
Good one.
Who else? I probably could have switched around some other names if I really wanted to. Now that I'm thinking about it.
This is so unfair. I'm doing Mr. Bennett class work right now.
Don't get mad at Wally because he thought of this before you did.
No, I'm glad he said that because it forced me to think even further. Because I'm looking at all the other characters people overlook and slept on. Because no one mentioned Iceman, and Iceman would consider to be a future threat.
My thing is he could be taken out so easy. I mean, at least from what I understand, all you need to do is put a little heat on him.
No. Mr. Bennett, let me tell you right now. If he really, really gets cold, like a certain temperature, it's over. The whole world is pretty much dead.
He the undercover.
Oh, we go back to the Ice Age.
Yeah.
No, I get that.
Iceman's the undercover threat. That's why I say Iceman.
Well, hang on a second, guys. I just put it in my AI. The most powerful three here. So this is the list that AI came out with. It was Jean Green / Phoenix is number one.
Jean Grey.
Thank you. Frank Richard. Second, that is Mr. Fantastic's son.
Right.
Scarlet.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
Yeah, he was born a dangerous experiment. I'll call it a.
And remember, in one of the comics books, also Galactus was trying to kidnap him because to use his powers. Scarlet Witch is in third. Thor is fourth. The Hulk is in fifth. Doctor Strange is number 6. Silver Surfer is number 7. Captain Marvel is number 8. And the Senate, I'm not sure who the hell that is.
The Sentinel.
Sentinel, thank you. Number 10
I don't want to mention Scarlet Witch because she's broken.
No, not Central. That's the Sentry.
Sentry, thank you.
Oh, yeah.
The Sentry.
Yeah, and Spider-Man is number 10 in last place.
I don't want to mention Scarlet Witch because she's a broken character. The reason why I'm saying that, she the person, for some apparent reason, as time progressed, she the character should never have been existed because she destroyed reality itself. As for that she go down, it's like saying
that's what emotional trauma gets you.
Bingo.
But
so she's an unknown variable that cannot really say she's the most popular. At the same time, her ability to destroy reality itself, meaning it's a cheat code. She's a special case by herself alone.
Frank Richards too is a special case because technically he's one of his powers is he can create his own universe.
That one is on the same class with Scarlet
Witch. That's
Witch.
God level power.
Mm-hmm.
He's on the same class with Scarlet Witch because You want to talk about God level? Scarlet Witch is beyond God level. She destroys reality. Whatever parameter they put on reality itself, she can go behind reality and remove the limiter and say, I don't give two F about reality. This is how I feel. And mess up the whole system. She's a system breaker.
But notice,
let me ask you. So let me ask you this: if Scarlet Witch was in the Infinity situation with Thanos and the stones, do you think that she, in and of herself, could have undid the work of the stones, or with Thanos, whatever
she can
get his plan off?
She can. The problem, the producer restricted her. The producer, the people who wrote the script.
I'm saying when she became Scarlet Witch is what I'm saying. I mean, when she got to a point where she can bend reality, where even she was too well, at least in the movie Doctor Strange 2, she is more powerful than Doctor Strange. She even Professor X couldn't deal with her. You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
well,
you know,
yeah, but that was
what would that character have done in a Thanos universe, or when Thanos was still around?
Well, yeah, well, technically, if I'm not mistaken, she was there in the battle with him, if I'm not mistaken.
But she wasn't Scarlet Witch, though.
Well, she was Scarlet Witch. She wasn't. She just wasn't Scarlet Witch at that level.
That's what I'm saying.
Well, yeah,
I'm saying that level person.
Well, yeah, but if you put that level person at that moment, would she be able to? That's a tough deal for me. Because that goes hand in hand. Because again, with all those stones, and then at that moment, because if that was the case, it's like, well, then why did Doctor Strange not do any more better at that moment?
Good question.
But again, her powers exceeded Doctor Strange.
Well, no, I understand that. But what I'm leading to right now, if you told me right now, between her and Doctor Strange at that moment of that time, in the current time, if you told me who was more advanced at that time, you would believe in most cases Doctor Strange should have been more advanced, especially since he had more people to train him.
True.
So with that,
he has a good point there.
Like, hey,
that is true. That is very, very true.
He didn't get any more better. Granted, it's not the fact that he couldn't do no more better. It's because of the visions of all the possibilities that he saw, and he was like, yeah, this is gonna be effed up, but you have to die.
And then later on, it said that he did not see beyond that. He didn't know that he would end up resurrected, becoming something completely different. With Tony Stark, it's like a unknown, broken variable. How that he died being Iron Man, then come back being Doctor Doom.
Well,
and the thing is,
there, dude.
And thing is, according to the original storyline, Doctor Doom was never Tony Stark to begin with. Am I right, Mr. Bennett?
No.
Well, as far as how they broke down certain movies, and of course TV series, the way how they broke it down, there was a certain particular moment that they were talking about how they how Tony Stark was. It was some particular moment, and then they said like in this weird factor, this is how they were gonna prove like Tony is actually secretly Doctor Doom, but in a flipped universe, and like something had to flip happen to be.
Because in the original comic book, when Doctor Doom existed, Iron Man also existed as well. Am I right, Mr. Bennett?
Yeah.
So this is where we have an issue with original storyline. Why are they trying to recreate Doctor Doom as being the, how you going to say it, the other side of the coin of Iron Man? Well, that's not the case in the original comic book. This is what I have an issue when you have all these new writers who don't know how to be original, going to come in and rewrite storyline that just prove the point whereby they don't have no creativity. You just added extra thing not need to be added on.
Well, I think that's part of it, and I think another part is again going to the well with known commodities. Because again, who are you going to cast? I mean, with these studios, they want the someone with name ID. Then they don't want to take a chance on somebody who is an unknown, and you just don't know what the product is going to be.
I forgot the name of the original Doctor Doom. What's his name? Paul?
Victor Von Doom.
Victor Von Doom. Yeah, he's the original Doctor Doom. And if I remember correctly, he was a scientist whereby he was dealing with things of the unknown that passed to reality itself.
And also,
yeah, I mean, he was dealing with mystic and different mystic arts.
And he also had a rivalry with Mr. Fantastic.
Yeah, the right way. Fantastic for all that.
So
yeah, because didn't he want Sue Storm also at one point?
Yeah, there was a thing he wanted. Yeah, he did.
Yeah,
and this one I don't like. I don't like this. I'm sorry to that. I'm glad you back to the. This one I have an issue when they keep rewriting storyline and throw off people like me and Mr. Benham. We'll remember the original storyline. Richard Von Doom is the original Doctor Doom, not Tony Stark.
Well, I'm gonna make a comment after the clip, but yeah.
Okay, hang on, guys.
Heroes in Marvel, ranked by raw strength, cosmic power, and feats that shook the universe. 1. Sentry, Robert Reynolds. Power level, virtually limitless. Has the power of 1,000,000 exploding suns. Ripped Ares in half, stalemated World War Hulk. Reality warping when the void takes over. Regeneration and invulnerability at insane levels. Sentry is Marvel's wild card, unstable, godlike, and terrifying. 2. Franklin Richards. Power level, Omega level mutant and cosmic being. Warped reality as a child, created universes from scratch. Manipulated Galactus and Celestials. Even cosmic entities like Mephisto fear him. Think mutant meets God. Franklin bends the rules of existence. 3. Thor, All-Father or Rune King, Thor versions. Power level, cosmic plus god of thunder. Lifted the Midgard serpent, larger than Earth. Wielded Mjolnir and Jarnjorn. Rune King, Thor saw through reality. Fought beyond time and space. Defeated gods and Galactus-level beings. A warrior god with divine fury and cosmic knowledge. 4. Hulk, World Breaker Hulk. Power level, gamma-fueled devastation. Destroyed entire planets by walking. The madder he gets, the stronger he becomes. Took on the Avengers, X-Men, and Sentry. When he's truly unleashed, no force stands long in Hulk's path. 5. Doctor Strange, Sorcerer Supreme. Power level, Mystic God tier. Wields the Time Stone, in MCU, and powerful artifacts. Battles cosmic beings like Dormammu, Shumagorath. Reality manipulation, astral projection, dimensional travel. Magic is strange domain, and even gods respect his power. 6. Silver Surfer. Power level, power cosmic wielder. Travels faster than light, survives black holes. Can absorb energy, rearrange matter, and destroy worlds. Fought Thanos, Hulk, and Mephisto. He's a shining force of justice with cosmic might and endless speed. Who's your strongest Marvel hero? Like, share, and subscribe.
Interesting.
Do they consider Reed Richards a hero?
When you mentioned Mr. Fantastic's son, he and Scarlet Witch, like I said, are broken cheat code.
I don't know if you want to, are you going to sleep safe at night with those guys on watch? Depends on what attitude, what mindset they're in at a given time or whatever. It's like, I don't know. So,
for example, Mama say you're grounded. No, I'm not grounded.
Don't take them off.
I'm grounded in this world, but not the other world. I'll quit my whole universe. Seriously. Sparta, let's say that boy is your son and you want to ground him. Yeah, you want to ground him in your own universe. But he say, I may be grounded here, but behind closed door, he could another universe disappear. That rule does not apply.
It's scary to think about that shit.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Him and Scarlet Witch are not supposed to exist. You're rule breakers. When you have a being that is rule breaker, based on that ranking system, he can change the rules. So I don't know why they keep putting him on a rank.
Now, again, I'm not as familiar with Scarlet Witch as far as the whole history and background and whatnot, but we talked about those rules earlier. Can we say that she was made in the lab?
No,
I'm saying based on the MCU, it was her and her brother. Now, I don't know if they were mutants or whatever, but weren't they manipulated?
They were mutants, son of
they're mutants, but
son and daughter of Magneto.
In that moment of when they came into the movie, they weren't classified as mutants, but they were mutants because they came from Magneto.
Bingo.
Right, but I'm saying, weren't they? But weren't I remember it was in Ultron, right? Weren't they? They were in some experiments or something. Right?
They Magneto.
They were in experiments because remember the idea of mutants, so they're experimenting on mutants. So yeah, But as far as saying they're labs, no, because again, mutants are they generate their power through birth.
Understood. But I thought there was some additional manipulation in addition to their mutant powers. That's something else.
No, that was the story. The original storyline. They were Magneto's son and daughter, which Magneto did not realize they would exist at the time. Just that.
And they never did that crossover to bring the X-Men into the franchise.
Because his daughter was a broken individual that Magneto was not aware of.
Right.
She is.
But this is we're talking about like where the next what the next phase of the project is or whatever. I mean, we're still waiting on this crossover, right? I mean, I know Universe of Madness did something with bringing Xavier in, but we still haven't had this crossover of MCU with the X-Men. And again, I don't know what version of the X-Men you want to try to bring in. I would prefer like a first class timeline. But
the problem with that, David, Paul, is Sony owns X-Men. That's not checked. I might be wrong on that.
But Sony owns Spider-Man also, and they brought him in successfully.
Also, Disney had to pay a lot of money towards Sony to do that.
Yeah, and they made a lot of money.
Yeah,
so
and that's the problem. Like, okay, they dropped all this money on one person, it worked. Is it going to work twice? The question is.
And the X-Men organization,
everybody looks for success. They basically
want X-Men movies. I mean, especially First Class. I think even with First Class, the only reason why First Class really failed is because again, the movies of these action movies of Marvel, you kill off too much freaking characters too dang early. Like, make me sick, like to my stomach. Like, what? How are you gonna start fresh and then you're already killing off people?
And you wonder why we nerds who have read so many comic books during my younger years look at a movie like a piece of trash.
But with that said, I mean, going back to the idea of because I know you, Dave, you was trying to make a stamp on original. What you say? Original idea or original content?
Original idea, original storyline.
Okay, no. Pick one. Original idea, original storyline. Because again, I'm gonna show how that's different.
Go ahead, elaborate.
Because again, if you say original idea, granted, yes, you can say original idea as far as what the person and said powers should be, but understanding original idea, well, technically, if they're making Tony Stark, aka Iron Man, flip into and warping into this unique way of being Doctor Doom, that is technically an original idea. How they're formulating that as far as live action.
And I get that point because when you do that, the thing that you're rating the original Doctor Doom, who have a better foundation than Tony Stark. That's where the conflict comes into play.
It's not really this amongst a better foundation. Is again, you're warping. We haven't even really seen what any version of what we're mixing or losing.
I get it because here's the thing.
Anyways, but the
warping of Tony Stark into Doctor Doom was not original idea. It was a screwed up idea because based on comic book, Victor Von Doom was the original Doctor Doom. At the same time,
character name
Iron Man also existed within that same storyline.
I get that part again, but what I'm tailoring is the Victor Von Doom has not changed. It's just the character. It's just the person that's playing the character is the only issue. Because again, we understand how we go from Robbie Downey Jr. playing Iron Man, aka Tony Stark, from now going to playing Robbie Downey Jr. playing Dr. Von Doom, aka Dr. Doom. Again, I get those parts, but again, if we're hitting on the main point of saying, okay, just their idea, which again, do I ultimately agree with? No, but is it an original idea based upon them that may or may not work? Yes, they have to flesh that out regardless, which is going to be a lot because again, if anyone watched the Fantastic Four movie, towards the end, they showed him literally with said mask and suit towards the end with the child, which again, I don't know how the fuck they're going to connect this, but have fun. But yeah, that's my thing. But now if you want to talk about original content, then yeah, I understand your point. But original idea, that can go both ways.
One thing I want to mention, I know this is not on a conversation, but I want to bring this up with the X-Men. Patrick Stewart, he will be returning as Professor X in Doomsday, but that will be his last performance as an actor. After that movie, he's going to officially retire. They announced that the other day, and so I only reason I bring that up because he has done a great job with Professor X. I think he love the role very well.
He's always been the visual face.
Yeah, he was definitely. In fact, that was a show that I've always wanted to do. Like, if you were going to cast your guy, like who to play who, right? So he was Professor X when I saw him in Star Trek TNG from day one. So that to me that's like one of the easiest casting decisions. Just like Robert, like I can't imagine anybody except Robert Downey Jr. playing Tony Stark.
No one can accept Wolverine as no one else other than you know who.
Exactly. Well, I would say this now: if I was going to do a reimagine, right, snap my fingers to do someone else, the person who would have even beat this guy would have been Mel Gibson.
Really?
Mel Gibson from if you go back to the Lethal Weapon franchise, when Riggs got raged, even back then, even before we didn't even talk about, this MCU.
Yeah, I see that part.
Go ask Eric. We talked about that all the time.
Mel Gibson,
Wolverine.
Yeah, you got a point.
I can understand Old Man Logan, but
no. Go back and watch Lethal Weapon
1 and 2.
Franchise. 1, 2.
Yeah.
When he got rage, when he went into that berserker mode,
yes, he did.
That was Wolverine right there. All you need to do is give him claws, and that was Wolverine right there.
Correct. I saw that movie.
So that would have been my perfect. Again, if I could go back and just like I would have had Storm, I would have had Iman, the model. One's married to David Bowie. That was Storm for me. That was Storm from day one. When I saw her in Star Trek 6, The Undiscovered Country, I said that's Storm right there.
Now, since you're talking about that one, who could have been Black Panther? Because that's the debate. Who could be the original Black
That one I haven't, like I said, I haven't fleshed it out. But again, that could be another topic, another show.
Because my issue with the Black man casting, because there were a few other people I believe would have been a better Black Panther than late, who? Because for one, Michael Jai White, he could have fit the mold better. I don't know why they didn't cast him in that way. That was one. There are two other black actors who I think they passed up on, who could have taken the mantle of the Black Panther properly.
It's funny you said that, David, because I had that conversation today with somebody. Like, when a actor pass and they don't recast them, and we just mentioned earlier, me and Paul, and to me that's strange a little bit, because don't you want to make his memory to continue on a different actor? They've done it before.
Hit the thing.
With who? When you talk about an iconic character, like the type we're talking about, who's going to replace Patrick? I know the guy McVoy who played a young Charles Xavier. Okay, if you want to go there, but as far as your classic, when you think of certain characters in your mind, like to me, Linda Carter, for example, will always be Wonder Woman. Linda Carter. That's it.
That's everybody.
Break the mold. Leave it alone. Perfect. And that's when
that was everybody's girlfriend. That was Paul Bennett girlfriend.
That was my first crush.
That was my first love in elementary school.
6 years old. That was my first crush. Was Linda Carter as Wonder Woman.
Not every boy first crush back in the 80s.
Yeah.
But have you guys seen the cast of the Doomsday movie?
No,
I haven't.
All right, I have it right. I'm gonna show you guys because we were talking about.
Well,
once again, the Black Panther has stricken. Wakanda forever.
Guys, I want to apologize. My computer's really acting weird tonight.
Get that right, David. It's Groot.
It is not Groot. Okay, whatever.
All right, so this is the cast of Doomsday, and they have a good roster. Now, is the movie going to do justice? That's a whole different story, obviously. But they have a good roster overall so far. So What do you guys think so far?
Well, it's half of the roster is folks have already been there, done that already. So, well, it's not like they're introduced. Who is like the new person they're introducing that's going to upset the apple cart?
The only thing I can say is Charming Italian because
no, he was in the last Deadpool.
He has a very small role too.
Yeah, he was Gambit in that movie, right?
And now they're saying the green light finally him playing Gambit. That's the rumors going around now, but it's not official yet.
That's not a rumor. That's pretty much it right there. I mean, for me, it is because I think because as far as what I'm hearing, based upon how the movie went and how it was to some people successful or here and there, is like he plays the role. I think the only difference is maybe you may not like how he speaks the general Gambit tone, like because how Gambit speaks, he's more lead.
Yes, from
that's dialect. So that might be the issue for some people. But other than that, he looked like Gambit in every which way. And personally, I love the character.
I agree 100%. I think he'd be a better Gambit than Gambit we got a few years back, if you remember.
From the X-Men Origins movie. Yeah, I could take a view.
The thing is, I actually like that character too.
Yeah.
Okay, let me ask you a question.
I like the original one better.
What the guy named who did Black Panther before he passed? What's his name again?
I can look it up. Give me a second.
Chadwick Boseman?
Yeah, because I had an issue with him when he first casted him. I was thinking there's no other person who could have cast Black Panther because Black Panther.
Chadwick Boseman.
Yeah, there you go. Well, I think he fit the character very well, David.
But keep in mind like I said, the way Hollywood works. Again, you go with the hot commodity. This guy did the Jackie Robinson story. Then he played James Brown, which he got an Oscar for.
42.
I mean, you're always going to go, right, that was Jackie Robinson. You're always going to go sort of with the hot actor,
but
not necessarily who is quote unquote right for it. Because again, certain people you can introduce or whatever, but again, your mainstays, like I said, they were going to go with Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man because again, Robert Downey Jr. was already an established figure in his own past. Right, because he had his problems with drugs and alcohol even before so they were like, this guy is he's kind of already Tony Stark already. We don't have to do a lot.
At that point, before they cast him, I was thinking Idris Elba would have been a better Black Panther.
Maybe a little bit too old.
You know who was supposed to be the original Iron Man, and I am glad they didn't go with it.
Who was that?
What's his name? He's playing Top Gun.
Not Tom Cruise.
So wait a minute, real quick, because I phased out a little bit. But
go ahead.
David, you said that you didn't like Chadwick Boseman being Black Panther.
That was my first choice at the time before they cast out the movie. I would think he's not put to be the fit.
And like I said, David, I think he fit the character very well. Very well, I think.
Now, the one thing I would say, David, is I don't know if I would have changed him either, but when you talk about, and again, guy who played Killmonger, I mean, he did a great job, but you talk about Michael Jai White, I think he could have certainly played Killmonger. That would have been a nice pick. I can see that.
That is a very good introduction because you caught me there because when you look at the comic book, the original storyline of the Black Panther Killmonger, Michael Jai White could have fit that one way better than Michael B. Jordan,
who did a great job. I mean, he
did an excellent job.
Yeah.
But when you mention that, I'm looking at the original story of the Black Panther, who Killmonger is, and this is where, like I said, we have an issue. We come to Hollywood. When they casting people, you said they go for the hardest part, but person who fit and embody it properly well, they overlook that part.
Yeah.
And you totally correct on that part. Michael Jai White could have been Killmonger.
Look, I like Michael
way better than Michael B. Jordan. He could have, yes.
Look, I like
my issue was the character who portray Black Panther. There was other variable would be available for that, and I'm thinking, were they in a negotiating itching that why they would not cast for that thing?
Mm-hmm.
That was my concern.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you look at Idris Elba when he did that movie, when he did that particular character on Fast and the Furious, the way he was moving in that movie, you could have said this could have been a real Black Panther.
Yeah, but he's already 45 plus years old. And,
I know, but
you also think about the future. You got to cast him young enough, especially if you're going to be in this thing for 10 years. You can't age him out that much, even with the de-aging that they do right now. Yeah, Idris came just a little bit too he came a little bit too late. But having said that, now who would have made? I know I liked as far as the Dormology or whatever. Again, if I was gonna do a Thanos snap, all right, Grace Jones, you got to put her in there somewhere. I don't care where you put it. She could be the mother of all the Dormology or whatever, but you got to have Grace Jones in there. If you look at Conan the Destroyer movie back in '84 with Arnold Schwarzenegger, she was built to be a Dormology warrior way before, But again, timing and everything wouldn't have made that happen. But that would have been my ultimate.
I want you to see something. I called my assistant to show me something. Remember that I mentioned out of my mouth before. My assistant said, "Look at the list. If you were to cast Black Panther, guess who's number one on the top of the list?"
Honestly, I wouldn't go with him either.
Look at that.
I still go with my original statement, David. I think the character they picked for Black Panther fit him very well. I would never change them personally.
Idris Elba was on top of the list.
Wait a minute, this is what the original casting, or this is like if you were going to replace?
This is like basically asking who would be the replacement actor.
Or who would be cast?
Replacement, not who originally would have been.
Yeah. It's not.
That's a different thing.
I put it. Which actor could have been cast best for Black Panther? That's what I put it. My assistant saying number one on the list was Idris Elba. And I said it before my assistant said it. He was my assistant saying that. The second one was.
Here's the thing, though. Here's my only thing, right? Because I know you mentioned Michael J. White, and now you're mentioning Idris Elba. My thing is this: we're talking about T'Challa.
Yes,
if you're gonna, for me personally, if you're gonna vote for the idea of someone playing Black Panther, which Black Panther are you talking about? Because again, Michael J. White, Idris Elba, at their age, play an older Black Panther character. I would agree then. But if you're talking about T'Challa, someone that is a descendant and a son at that point, and he's supposed to be younger at this point, no. I think you pick right in Chad and Bone.
What about David Oyelowo?
I'd have to look up who that is exactly.
He's a Nigerian actor.
Well, he'll fit the accent.
And
I think you're very stuck. I think you're very stuck on the fact
that you want somebody. I want to see that.
He would have been too old. Also, he's 49 right now. Ooh. He would have been 40 when Black Panther came out. What do you say, David Oyelowo?
Yeah.
So again, going back to my original statement about just being a little bit older, like again, certain characters. I'm not saying that they couldn't play them, but I'm saying at the same time, which particular character would you be? And that's what I'm saying. As far as T'Challa, this is a younger person coming from a father that's was already the head chief beforehand.
He was
So no, that's what I'm saying. You want someone more younger at this point.
So, okay, what about Damson Idris?
Who?
Damson Idris Elba's son.
A lot of people are actually saying him as current right now. They're saying he's probably the one of the best of their switch. They mentioned his name before. It's not bad.
I was trying to say before. I think you're so stuck that you want the actor being, from your homeland, and it's not many actors come out of that area, dude. To be honest with you, they're famous. Yeah, what? I'm going to stick to my statement. Not a lot of actors.
Hang on.
What about the boy who acted in Star Wars? He's Nigerian.
Hang on. But let's put a little nuance on that, right? Ooh. Because this is happening in Hollywood, though. You have a lot of British actors.
There you go.
Who are playing quote unquote American or African American roles. That definitely is happening. And a lot of these actors that David is talking about, yes, they might be Nigerian or have African, more recent African ancestry, but they're British actors that they're looking to cast for a lot of these roles. And a lot of them, again, they might be more, first generation. They might be like first generation British, or not of Nigerian or Ghanaian or whatever the ancestry is. So that is something that is happening. I gotta, I'll give him credit. I'll give him credit for that, but I wouldn't count them as being sort of native. Well, that, because even David, the ones you're quoting, again, they have British accents, but even Idris has a British accent at the end of the day.
But I'm not really even mad about that, because even Killmonger, he had to leave his home country and go to New York. So I mean, eventually you have to.
I know Idris Elba is a Nigerian, but he's British. But Chiwetel Ejiofor, another Nigerian, but he also played in Doctor Strange at that particular character. He could have been in that one.
Hey, look, my thing is this.
Again, David, I don't think any of these guys would have made the movie as successful as it was. It would have been a bomb. Any other actor fell in that shoes, and then we wouldn't be talking about it. Hang on. You'll be saying American movies, theaters fuck the movies up, like you always say.
No, because here's the thing. This was the beef when they did Doctor Strange, and they had a white woman portray a Asian character. That was like right off disrespect, because you telling me there's no Asian actor could have done that role? Be the
absolutely. I'm not disagreeing one bit about that.
Okay, and that's the thing. Wait, Doctor Strange was an Asian character?
No, the Asian one in Doctor Strange.
Asian one.
It was a Asian character, but it had a white woman who put on a skull cap to portray that. That was a slap in the face.
The same thing like they did with Fantastic Four a few years ago when they used what's his name?
Michael Pugh as John Stone.
Yeah, that was. It's one thing to chasing the character from and using an actor, different culture completely, or white, Asian, or black, who's supposed to be a white character. That I'll give you guys. But when you're talking about, like you are, David, saying they have to be from the motherland, you got so many other actors who can play that role a lot better.
And that would be a debate, because first and foremost,
it's not a debate. It's facts.
Okay.
Real quick, so because here's my thing. Regardless, better or not, in between one way or the other, my thing is this, right? If you're going to portray, because I've seen a lot of videos where people were looking at this, and this is from people from the motherland that somewhat scolded because it didn't really, quote unquote, fit the true origins of that of the land in itself. As far as if we're talking about the true native things. Now, granted, of course, this is fiction, so it may not ultimately stay to the natural occurrence of that, and it's plus world building, so they made their own name, if it, however it is. But the idea of it is like, it never, did it stay to ultimately all of it? Sure, no, it didn't. But it's like, at the same time, did it ultimately not pay some solitary of certain characters being from there? Yeah, because they had some of the characters. Now, granted, Black Panther itself may have not been the main one. Also, I forgot the one. I forgot her name, sadly, but the one that played T'Challa's mother, she's not technically from there, but you know what?
Angela Bassett, yeah.
Yes, but you know what? She was lovely as far as her image within the movie. But again, it's like there's a lot to pick from, right? It's like pick and choose how you want to look at the notion of it all.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, for me, it's like, I get it, right? Representation matters. It would be a nice big thing if you get the representation. But the thing is, though, is like, if it was really going to be that much of a big gap problem, then I would sit here and say, then Black Panther would ultimately just been trash, period.
Well, let me ask you guys this question about just comics and even anime or manga altogether. Because, I mean, it's interesting that, again, we have these fictional characters on the page, and yes, they may have backgrounds or stories or whatever, but the issue of race or representation seems to certainly be something that becomes canonized for a lot of people. Now, I get, again, setting. Okay, if you're talking about Africans, or if you're talking about British, or if you're talking about certain ethnicities that you want to have represented, I get that. You need to kind of stay within that. You know what I mean? But when you're talking about comic books and reimaginings and things of that nature, does it get a bit, I don't want to say ridiculous, but again, when you talk about if you wanted to make Superman black, this is hypothetically,
not gonna work.
Is that? But I'm just saying. But it's just interesting how we get so fixated on the ethnicity of these characters who are aliens who come from other planets.
Well, here's my thing to it, Mr. Bennett. Right. So for me, as a perfect example that you brought up, Superman. The only reason why most people would say Superman being black is because of the idea of how his power source is. Because anyone knows if you're pale and you absorb a lot of sun, you will literally, you know what? Black people, on the other hand, is a different notion, which is why people have a certain gripe towards that. Not ultimately in a bad way, but to the point that, they cancel Superman, but to the point that it is what it is. But of course, in the comics, this is what they designed it. This is what it is. Done deal. Whatever. But for me, it's just like this. If you're gonna make the character a particular way, it's like keep it that way. If I end up seeing, like, if you told me today, Superman, the next Superman within 10 years from now is gonna be black, I'm gonna be like, no. Why? Because personally, you made him white, so keep him that way.
Okay, so when that controversy came out, hang on. So when that controversy came out with the Little Mermaid, and they casted a sister as mermaid. So are you going to say that same thing? Because the original Little Mermaid was white. So are you going to say the same thing?
I'm sorry, but yes, I didn't. Respectfully, I didn't. Again, you made the character what it is. I understand you put a person in the role that can do it and sing and all of that, but you're trying to tell me there wasn't no white singers that you couldn't put in that mermaid suit? Just being honest, there's a lot of pop stars out there. Come on now.
And I'll back up Boali. And here's another good example of Fantastic Four in 2015 when they used what's his name? I'll tell you right now. Hang on one second. They used Michael B. Jordan as a Human Torch, Johnny Storm. That movie flunked completely.
I even get that too, right? I even get that too, because again, you're talking about human beings. You're talking about a 60-year history or 50-year history at the time when that came out and whatnot. And again, it becomes ingrained in your mind. But we're talking about mermaids and we're talking about aliens. And it's just interesting how we get so racialized that we even saying that these characters, these fictional characters that don't even have that are mythical in nature, they're not even real.
All right, so,
but we racialize them to a point where if somebody decides to make a change, or I think I want to make her black or have darker skin, because I don't know if race amongst mermaids is a thing, but let's just throw that around. We just make a mermaid with the skin complexion of three of us guys on the panel. That caused an outrage that said we can't do it.
So okay, so to your point, watch this. So you said aliens. Show me every comic book in history, every Superman comic book, and I guarantee you can still see the same skin tone every single time. Let's be real here. It's there. Now, you want to talk about Martian Manhunter, that's different because again, Martian Manhunter is green. Anyone, black, white, swing it however you want to, because he's literally green. And then the other opposite side of that, they're also white. So switch it however you want to. I ain't gonna hold you.
Right. Look, I'm not gonna fight. It is what it is. I'm just saying. I just find it ironic that again we as human beings we put race so tight to even the fictional.
But
like I said, the flack that actress got for playing the Little Mermaid, I thought was just awful. That she didn't deserve that. But because people were married to they saw Daryl Hannah in Splash. Or some other aspect, but mermaids were intended to be white always.
But hit it though.
I thought it was ridiculous.
When I first saw the first Fantastic Four, I saw Michael B. Jordan being the Human Torch. I found that something was wrong with it because that was not his place.
I agree. So
I look at the comic books.
So what Paul is saying, hang on a second there. What Paul is saying, he's 100% right. Mermaids are not supposed to be black or white. They're mixed. If you go deep into history, because I've done the history of that. And there's some black mermaids, some white mermaids. Maybe there's some Latino mermaids. I don't know about
and
that
there's
part.
probably some blue because if you talk about in the water, I mean, is that even a natural color? They could be blue, they could be green, they could be whatever.
Fight you on the idea of mermaids as far as black or white in between. My only thing was with mermaids, like, granted, am I sitting here saying like her performance was horrible or anything? I'm not saying she didn't play the character well. I'm not saying that at all. But what I'm saying is, in reflection of what you made the character to be, keep to the main character. Because again, the only biggest thing that made it weird for me is like, okay, last time I checked, isn't April with red hair? So what region of mermaid where you can be black with natural red hair? I'm sorry, I'm just putting it out there.
If you're a fish species, you can be any color combination.
I know, but I'm just saying
there's all kinds of colorful fish in the world. So I mean, you could.
I'm just saying, I'm just spin text because to a lot of people, it just doesn't sound normally organic.
You know what I'm saying? They would have an issue with Hollywood. They casting character for certain roles, and they're acting like they don't have a huge library they can use. They were the problem. When I saw the first Doctor Strange, and they put a woman, I was like, this is bullshit. They didn't know Asian character would have been Doctor Strange because looking at the comic book, the Ancient One was an Asian individual. Why would you put a white woman and put a skull cap on her to do the Asian? That was a slap. If that was the case, you could do the same thing with Shang-Chi. Continue with that same narrative. Get a white woman to play Shang-Chi.
You know how long it took to actually do Shang-Chi? No, they couldn't do that.
No, they were doing that with Doctor Strange. You might want to continue down that narrative because they know that would look real stupid on them.
But notice that okay, wait a minute. There's a difference between the one and then Shang-Chi. There was no way you was gonna ever do that with Shang-Chi.
But they knew if they go down that route, it would be a backlash. They already had enough backlash for Doctor Strange. So you cannot tell me you can find a lot of African actors who can fall into the Black Panther universe, which they can, but it's all debate on what they would allow you, what they're not allowed to use. Mm-hmm. It's all about what were your negotiating skills? Because there was a lot of actors.
But reality, but when you say again, because really, correct me if I'm wrong, there were no Africans per se. It was either American or British actors who happen to come from that particular background. No one who lives and works directly in Nollywood, I don't think was in this movie, at least not as a main character.
Well, Nollywood more so around the Indians?
No, Nollywood is the Nigerians.
Nollywood is Nigerian. Bollywood is India.
Oh, okay, yeah, I'm sorry. I'm thinking
So I'm just saying, so you're not going to have, and then what do you think, David, overall? Like, did you guys see One Love, the Bob Marley story?
I didn't get a chance to watch it yet.
All right, so people were freaking out then because they got a British guy, that guy Ben, what's his name? Kingsley Ben Adir played Bob. And he went through months of dialect coaching, tried to get the Jamaican accent down, but then Jamaicans were beefing, saying that's not Bob Marley. Or they should have cast a Jamaican person, like David's point. Couldn't you find a Jamaican actor to play Bob Marley?
And a lot of them are British.
And they couldn't. A lot of them are British. So this is an interfight even amongst ourselves. So we got Americans, we got Nigerians, we got Caribbeans. And we all arguing amongst ourselves over should American characters be playing British or Jamaican or African characters or whatnot.
You know you're American or British.
On the other side. So we got an internal beef with ourselves.
You know you're an American actor or a British actor. As long as you have a history with that particular culture, it would have been more of a greater help because there was a lot of African actors who were either British or American who could have done the part either way, just that they rather bypass them. That's what the number one issue. I hate to say, we have a lot of Nigerian actors. Nobody knew they were Nigerians, but we knew they were American.
Honestly, if they messaged now, I wouldn't even know. Like I would say right now, and you guys can come. Everybody can give me shit for it. Let me finish before you cut me off again. Is if you tell me name one Jamaican actor, I have no fucking idea because I never knew Jamaican even know how to act. That's how bad they are. But let's get in our final thoughts. So Paul, you go first. Greg second. David and Wally.
Yeah, I know we've been all over the map tonight, And you don't have to put me on blast. Just you can take me down if you need to. Again, we went all over the map today. Great discussion. Regardless, I love hanging out with you guys, and whether or not we stay on topic or we debate on topic. Maybe next time we have a meeting, we can kind of hash this out so we can have a more concise and clear direction on where we want to go with this. But again, I do think that when it comes to, if you're going to be talking about stronger superheroes in a particular franchise, I think you have to set some parameters that everybody can work with on powers, abilities, origination stories, and whatnot, and not just go by because some writer decides to take the character in another direction. I don't mind the use of certain enhancements or weapons, especially if the weapon is such that it's identified with the character. Like Captain America without a shield, it's almost like it doesn't work. Yes, he can be very effective without it, or Daredevil with his staff. It's like the weapon and the character are like they're one. You know what I mean? And I think those things are useful. Certainly in these type of debates. But like I said, I come from an older time where guys were not nearly as juiced up as they are now. And I don't even know where, like I said, when I saw that Godzilla versus Hulk thing and the guy went to the 10th dimension in terms of where they draw their strengths and powers.
That was fan made.
I mean, I'm just saying like, come on, guys. I mean, it's like, like there should be an arena that we work in based on I would say canon, if you will, in the comics. There should be a canonical standard that we agree on. And if it goes into if you want to expand it, we can go into movie franchises. We can kind of go there. I don't mind that necessarily either. But to have these debates over the top of the strongest or whatever, I think those are things that I think we really need to get tighter on. And one show that we probably, just based on this discussion tonight, that we probably need to have is, let's have a show specifically on Wolverine. Because everybody basically said that Wolverine is on their Mount Rushmore, and I didn't get a chance to even ask the question tonight as to why. Because he's not the strongest. He's not the in any of those categories that we talked about. But he's arguably the most beloved, whether it be in comic form. Before Hugh Jackman assumed the character, he was already like one of the top characters in Marvel. And Hugh Jackman just took the character like to another level. So let's have a show on Wolverine. Why we love Wolverine? Why does he resonate with us the way that he does? That would be an interesting show to have.
He's a Canadian.
Just talking about that. I think that would be a fun show to have as well. So yeah, definitely. But I enjoyed, always chopping it up with you guys, and whether we agree or disagree or whatever. It's always fun, and it's a privilege to share the stage with you guys. So
I agree, Paul. And like, listen, we might get off topic, but we have a good time about it. That's all that matters. Yep. This is why it's called Operation Hangout. Greg, you're up, my man.
Well, where should I start?
By talking.
It's all great. It's all great. Should stick to topic, but that's all I've got to say, really, to be honest with you. Should stick to topic, and great show.
David?
Little T'Challa speaking the plane.
You've reached your limit on talking. Shut the fuck up.
On Blazing Claw. Hey, you want some?
No.
Here,
here you go. I think my profile
Black Bullet too.
My profile bullet, buddy. Trust me on that one.
Perfectly.
Oh no, you didn't. See what did the guy doing again? Nah,
hey, I had to go back to I heard a rumor he had to bail you out on Friday night before Wally got on.
Anyway, then I'm on the T'Challa mode. So I'm back on T'Challa mode. Anyway,
wait, did y'all have red armor suit? Well, sorry, red glowing armor suit?
Yeah. He's cheating because he's angry.
All right, get to your point, please.
Either way, it's a great conversation, and I'm glad we get to that end when we come to the part of the character. Because when they did the Black Panther movie, I remember there was an internal debate concerning the character but like a lot of actors was left out. Who could have done it better, or who could have stretched it out even further, so to speak? And this has been always been debate when we come to with the Marvel Universe or the DC based on the casting or whatever. I think this is something I think we should have a series on. The first one should be the Wolverine series. Yes, because Mr. Bennett brought an excellent point. Certain actor could have done Wolverine much, much earlier than Hugh Jackman could have done it. And they fit the mold at that time. So that will force us to get to an aspect. Did they held back to pulling a trigger based on certain casting, or did they decide to choose who they were able to relate to or negotiate with even better with? I think that's what sometimes we'll look at, because there are a lot of roles that could be given to certain people to get a chance and showcase their talent. And among the Black community, especially the African community who understand a lot of the African actors, either British or American, we highly believe some of these actors could have done a much better job. And damn, because look at their class of work, you cannot say otherwise. That's always been an issue. So that is why I think this conversation, it put a magnifying glass on the casting part. So if you're gonna do a show like this, Wolverine should go first. The next series should be on a Black Panther and have people come on the panel who they can say which actor could have embodied that role better, because we all know Robert Downey Jr. did Tony Stark perfectly. Yeah, so you're not taking that one from him. There's nobody else you can think of who can do Tony Stark right now. And here's the funny part about it. Also, this one in the mix. Not only he did it embody Tony Stark, he also embodied this other character he did, Sherlock Holmes. And I thought he was a better Sherlock Holmes actor than being a Tony Stark actor.
I think he
did hear me out.
I think he did great in both roles, actually.
He did great in both roles, but I think he was better in Sherlock Holmes, because the way he did it, he embodied it better. That's why I was saying, I think we should start having that type of conversation. If you were a director or producer, if you're given a reason to cast who you think will fit that role best, bring your reason why and base it on that person's body of work. Because there's a lot of Black actors who have great body of work who could have been cast better on certain roles, but they overlooked them. That's the thing. Because look at the year that Black Panther came out. That's one. How many actors who were available at that time, they could have done that? What were really behind? Why they didn't reach out to the people? Were they negotiating issue, or they were tied on to other parts? Because we heard some actors were given certain roles and they couldn't take the role because they were tied down to other movie or they were working on it as we speak. So that would be a unique question, because Mr. Bennett brought something very interesting. I think we should start having that series more often and see what it'll go down to, because Professor X, no one's taking that role from know who. Mm-hmm. That is locked down. Tony Stark is locked down. Wolverine is a huge question mark. He bought that guy, what's his name again?
Mel Gibson.
Mel Gibson.
Again, go back and watch the Lethal Weapon 1.
I watched that movie, 1 and 2. I was thinking that was the real Wolverine when I saw that. He had the level of aggression that embodied it. And why they didn't do that movie back then? That's another question mark.
That's technology. That's the 80s, though. They didn't have the technology.
Maybe that could be the case.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of actors at certain time on their body of work, you can see them casting a particular role right there and there. And it was perfect, picture perfect. But like Mr. Bennett said, maybe the technology was not available, maybe the budget was not available. Who knows what it is?
I think the technology wasn't ready, and we weren't ready for that movie at the 80s, I think. But let's Wally go next. Wally?
All right.
Well, for my final thoughts. So, just to tie back a little bit of what we've pretty much talked about, even taking, I'll real quick, because I would rather take this off just to make sure we even understand this even further. Take even race off the table overall. It's not even the only thing about race. You got to ask yourself another question. The height, just the person that really embodies the person, everything else of that nature. if you don't have the height requirement in most cases, they're not. It's sort of like you're sort of weaken that part down. You know, the height, the look, just everything else of just the moniker. Like again, a lot of people from First Class, well, not even First Class, but yeah, First Class, even up to the point that they did the Apocalypse movie. I think the newer, fresher Storm that they gave, I like that Storm. Nice, younger. Again, you're starting it from ground zero. I actually like that Storm. Give him some time to age up. They put a Psylocke. Like, I waited so long to see her in a suit. Like, come on. Like, there were so much things that they did that was pretty nice. Granted, they sort of rushed it a little bit. By a little bit, I mean a whole lot. But, again, there were certain characters that they did that were freshly brand new that fit the moniker for me as far as a young person coming in. They just didn't fleshly out to the point that they should have. They really just rushed and gunned it without really taking care of it at all. But hey, that's neither here or there. But other than that, what else is there? As far as the idea system of this whole battle of how do we determine who's the best superhero? The best
You're
wrong.
Um,
what was I thinking? Best superhero. Yeah, as far as like the ideal ranking system, as far as to make it balanced across the board. I mean, again, that's a really much pick and choose notion of where you want to level set that across the board. Because again, if you level set most of these guys / girls, or I say women, let me frame that. It's easy to just pick one person that's a god tier and then call it a day.
Yeah.
And that's my things, like level setting doesn't work either, because again, it's like, though, then how do you level set them, keep them right there versus then someone that's god tier, they already lose. So you have to bring them up just to sort of like equalize that matter. So yeah. But other than that, as far as just my little small nugget, I'm not going to put a big one out there. I know we'll save it for another show later down the line or next year.
Mm-hmm.
Why Wolverine is so much impactful, even though he's not ultimately the strongest or, Omega level, galaxy level, busting planets level. You resonate with the idea of for me personally, I think when you think about a character that has more dimensions outside of a group, Wolverine literally has more dimensions outside of a group. Like, you can literally walk away with him and take him as a storyline. He was literally, in a lot of people's ideals, the Batman of an actual TV series coming from Marvel Comics. Solo guy, came to a group, can still be a solo guy one way or another. I mean, granted,
the symbol of masculinity,
government standard, but yeah, in a sense.
Yeah.
You want the original symbol of masculinity?
All right, guys. Thank you for everybody who showed up tonight. Let's do a quick schedule update. So for tomorrow, we have Doug Bennett, Marine and comedian, coming on a Greg area.
He's not my son, guys.
Listen.
Just in case people are asking, he's not my nephew. Now, look, we may do the 23andMe or Ancestry, and we may have some common links or whatever, but I'm just saying.
Did I ever tell you what happened to my friend, dude? My buddy who was in the Army? So we were out. I was at his house. It was actually Father's Day. We used to joke around all the time. He says, like, dude, Father's Day always makes me nervous. Like, why? I'm like, before I got married, I'm like, shit happened overseas. I'm like, whatever, dude. One day he's got a knock on the door. He goes, Pete, can you get the door for me? I'm like, yeah, sure. I open the door, like, can I help you? He goes, I'm looking for so-and-so. I'm like, who are you? I'm his son from overseas. Like, yeah, like a lost son. I'm like, oh, that's gonna be funny. I tell you, I went up to him like, dude, you remember your worst nightmare? Like, yeah, it finally came true. I'm like, what do you mean? Stop playing, Pete. I'm like, going answer the door. Like, yeah. He goes, he handled the paperwork, DNA test, and everything was accurate. He goes, my wife is going to kill me. His wife wasn't that mad, actually, because this is before they got married, before they met each other. It was like years ago. So he had a lost son he didn't know about. So you never know, Paul. You never know before your marriage.
Said, my name is Bennett, and I ain't in it.
Oh, you might be in it this time, buddy. You might be in it this time, all the way. Robbers don't exist in the black community, I heard.
Oh, geez. Really?
Wow.
Anyway,
coming from a guy who will not take a DNA test because he's afraid that he may not be quite 100% Greek. So I'm just
actually, I just found out something interesting. If you want to hit that belt, so my last name, I did a history on my last name, Lariches.
Mm-hmm.
So we're originally Greek. That's true. We lived in Turkey. I can't believe that part still. And Italy.
Mm-hmm.
And we were
got all kinds. You Hans 50. You be gonna be Hans 57 up in there, man.
And we were known as princes back then. Royal knights to be technical.
Mm-hmm. And so, I'm sure a lot of Turkish and Italian maidens who would love to hook up with the Laritzis. So yeah.
Anyway, let's get to the schedule before I get myself in trouble here. Tomorrow's Dog Man will be on as a guest. Monday we're off, but we'll be back on Tuesday. The Tuesday topic is going to be plastic surgery.
Ooh.
That's gonna be it.
BBL Drizzy. No, thank you.
Yeah, you're gonna be there. No, you have no choice. And on Wednesday, David is going to be: do we look for intention or attitude? That'll be Sean's topic on Wednesday. And so correct me if this is wrong, Paul. We have here master and job interview. Didn't you guys do that already?
Yeah, this is going to be basically home buying part 2, and then we'll close out that that series. So
all right, so you heard from the man himself, and good luck on this one, you guys. David and why are we going over it? Comic book versus manga.
We did that already.
We did that already.
Literally.
All right, meeting Monday night, 9:30.
Which one you guys doing? Are you guys doing now?
Who are the emperors of anime throughout the centuries? That's the next show.
All right, I will adjust that. And for next week, we're back on Star Wars kick. We're going to be talking about what if Yoda fought Anakin on Mustafar. I can't pronounce the fucking word. So that should be it. It's
not me, Mandrell. You're no way on honeymoon will come out.
Will you leave the guy alone because he can kill you in a very pornographic way. You know that, right?
Yeah, all I gotta do is throw BMU in front of me. He would just turn around.
All right. I don't even.
Time, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, let's get out of here, guys. As always, guys, I am the Spartan. He is the president. RUK brother, Baby Groot, and Wally. As always, stay fresh, stay safe, and I'll see you guys on the next one.